Hi, today we're going over our wrist mobility program and wrist activation. So we're going to go through a couple different movements and we'll go through a test that we can do before and after to see how your wrists and forearms feel once you've gone through the exercises. Okay, so the equipment that you need for today is you need a lacrosse ball, a 1/2-inch band, super loop, and a PVC pipe, or you can do some of these exercises with a hammer. Okay. So we're going to start out with the test. And what we want to see is trying to get at least 90 degrees of wrist extension. This is going to help with front rack positions and then anything where you're kind of getting your hands on the ground. Okay, so bear crawls, handstand walks, whatever it may be. Okay, so my first test is I'm going to plant my hand right by the rack or by a corner on the wall, like so. Keep my fingers kind of spread out, elbow locked, and then I'm going to rock forward and I'm going to see if I can touch that shoulder to the rig here. And what I want to just kind of appreciate and notice is where do I feel the stretch, where do I feel restrictions. So when I do this, I feel a nice stretch through my forearm and I feel a little bit of pressure, possibly a little bit of impingement in the front top of my wrist here. So that's my right side. And then I want to go ahead and feel my left. So on my left, same thing, spread the fingers really wide, elbow kind of rotated in, nice and locked out, and then I'm going to reach my shoulder forward. Now, I do the exact same test. I have kind of similar mobility, but my left feels much looser. So in general, I'd probably focus my mobility a little bit less on that side because it actually feels pretty good. But my right feels a little bit tighter. Okay, for the sake of video, we're going to do it on both sides though. Okay, so we're going to start out with some soft tissue release. So we're going to start out with that lacrosse ball. So what you're going to do is you're going to get on the ground and we're going to do about a minute on each forearm. So those forearm muscles, they contract this way, and that's going to limit that wrist extension. Okay, so I'm going to plant my forearm, palm down onto the ground, and we're going to work this for a minute. And I want to work pretty much all the way from the wrist towards the elbow. I don't want to get up on the bone. And all I'm doing is kind of searching for sore spots, spots that feel tight, but also making sure that I'm just addressing the whole muscle and kind of moving it through. Working kind of along the arm is going to be your best bet. You can try a little bit of side to side. If you find a spot, you can try some circles. And the amount of pressure you're putting in should feel relaxing. It shouldn't feel like you have to brace or grimace against it. It should feel comfortable. Okay, about 15, 20 more seconds. And get up into that tendon right at the top, kind of go back and forth. And you can even kind of pin it down and then also even just move your hand around a little bit. It's another technique you can play around with. Okay, there's about a minute on the right side, so let's go to the left. Switch that ball over. Okay, and we're gonna roll back and forth. So I like to do just a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna go kind of long ways here, and then halfway we'll switch. Some crossways, some circles. I'm adding a little extra pressure with my top hand here to get that downward force. I'm going to get a little side to side over that flexor tendon here. Mark all the way down up to the wrist. Get some movement in there as well. I've got a little tight spot right here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold there and I'm going to even just do some hand circles, kind of pulling the muscles from the hand side. It feels good. I'm going to keep going. About 20 more seconds here. All right, so that's the beginning of the soft tissue work. So just kind of trying to relax the muscles, get them feeling good. Okay, I'll put that off to the side. We're gonna grab our band now. So I wanna fasten my band to the rig, nice and low. So I'm gonna get it around the base here. We got it looped out like so. And we're gonna use this to help put a crease or like kind of fulcrum through our wrist. So I've got it like so. I'm going to pull some tension on it here, and then I'm going to get it across the front of my wrist. You want to try to kind of keep it as low as possible on the wrist here. And then from here, I'm going to get into all fours. I'm going to try to twist my elbow to face forward, and then I'm going to lean forward. And what this band is doing is it's helping me get a little bit deeper stretch. It's kind of just pulling that wrist that way as both my forearm comes forward and my hand stays right where it is. So I'm just trying to get a nice stretch there. You can play around with different elbow positions. Just moving back and forth. And same thing, we'll be able to spend about a minute on either side. So you can do reps, you can do holds. I like to kind of move in and out of it and play around a little bit, trying to get my shoulders far forward that way without bending my elbow. So we'll go for about another 20 seconds. Ten more seconds. Doing good. All right, and go ahead, come on out of that one. Nice. So we're just gonna do the other side now. So I've done my left, I'm gonna do the right. I'm gonna step over it, pull my tension out, get it as low on that wrist as I can, trying to block my hand down like so. Spread my fingers nice and wide, and then we're gonna rock forward. We're gonna do a minute here. I can play around with that elbow, trying to twist it to face forward, and trying to take that shoulder forward. Should feel a nice stretch in here. Even if you feel a little bit of pressure in the front of the wrist, that's okay. As long as it's not too sharp and painful, a little bit of pressure is okay. And just play around and kind of see what gives you the best stretch feel through those muscles on the back of your forearm here. Okay, about 15, 20 more seconds here. It's taking a little bit of time to kind of let everything relax and move. And remember to play around in these positions and see, what feels good, what elbow position feels good, and where you feel tightest. Okay, nice and easy. Go ahead, come on out of that. Okay, so now we've done some soft tissue work on the forearm, and then we've stretched with the band exercise, and now we're going to activate all the muscles. So I'm going to take you through some moves with a PVC pipe, or you could do this with like a hammer. That would work just as well. Okay, so I'm going to stand up for this one. And what I want to see with this is we're going to start out with pronation and supination of the hand. So supination means turning the palm up. Pronation means turning the palm down. So the way I would do this is I would hold my pipe with a long end up to the top, like so, elbow at about 90 degrees. And I'm going to just easily control it down and then back across. Down, back across. And we'll do about 15 of these. So there's about 3, 4. If it's getting a little easy, I can shift that pipe up so I got a little more weight on it. 5, 6. You can kind of let it stretch at the end. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to get a hold of it, 90 degrees at the elbow, thumb facing up, long end up. And I want to make sure that I'm controlling this too. I'm not letting it bounce out of the bottom. So as I get down here, I kind of tighten my grip a little bit, just so it's not wrenching my wrist down. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Nice. Okay. We've got 2 more moves here for the wrist. So we're going to do what we call radial and ulnar deviation. So the first one, radial deviation, is we're moving in this plane. So we were kind of rotating this way. Now we're going up and down like so. So this one I'm going to hold it with long ways out in front, or if I had a hammer, the head of the hammer this way. And all I'm doing is I'm having it resting on the ground, and I'm going to lift up like that. So I'm going to feel the top of my forearm here. These will be more in the wrist extensors. So muscles that wrap around on the outside, like so. There's about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll do the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that's radial deviation. Now we're going to do ulnar deviation. So this is going towards our pinky side. We were just going towards our thumb. Now we're going to go into pinky. So now I would hold the stick more behind me, or the hammer going back behind me. So yet again, tapping the ground and then lifting up like so. So this one will feel more on the back side or that underside of the forearm. The last one we felt on the front here. So this will be more behind, okay? There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we did a couple extra reps there. It's just okay. We'll hit the other side, okay? Same thing, 15 reps. Lifting up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we have gone through the wrist activation, we've done the soft tissue work and the mobility and the stretching for the wrist. Go ahead and if you want to run through this again, if you feel like you need a little bit more, you can go ahead and play this video again.